Hello everyone. Today we're diving into a fascinating period in human history known as the Chalcolithic Age, or the Copper Age. This was a time when people began experimenting with copper, marking a crucial transition from the Stone Age to the Bronze Age. Imagine a world where stone tools were still the norm, but now, for the first time, people were starting to work with metal. Now, copper wasn't everywhere, and not everyone was using it at the same time. For instance, in some parts of the world, like Russia, this Copper Age phase didn't really exist. But in other places, like the mountains of Serbia, we have evidence of copper smelting from as early as 5000 BC. This means that people were heating and shaping copper into tools and objects long before the Bronze Age really took off. Interestingly, during this time, stone tools were still in use, so it wasn't like everyone switched over to metal overnight. The shift from using mostly stone to incorporating copper happened gradually. For example, in Britain, this period was pretty short, around 2500 to 2200 BC, when copper and even gold objects started showing up, thanks to the arrival of the beaker culture. This group brought with them not just metalwork but also new pottery styles and even influenced local traditions. The Chalcolithic Age was really a time of transition and experimentation. Different regions had their own timelines and ways of adopting this new technology. And while we often think of the Bronze Age as the start of widespread metal use, this earlier period shows that the roots of metallurgy were already being laid down. AMD. Now let's move to South Asia during the Chalcolithic Age. This region saw some remarkable developments, particularly in the areas we now know as India and Pakistan. There was a lot of interaction and trade happening, which is evident from the similarities in pottery styles between the Indus Valley civilization and regions like southern Turkmenistan and northern Iran. This kind of exchange suggests that people were more connected than we might think, even back in 4300 to 3300 BC. In South Asia, the Chalcolithic period was marked by the use of copper alongside the older stone tools. For example, at Birana, one of the earliest known sites of the Indus civilization, archaeologists found copper bangles and arrowheads, showing just how advanced they were becoming with metalworking. In the region of Mehrgarh, located in present-day Pakistan, people were already making tools out of local copper ores as far back as 7000 BC, long before large-scale metalworking became common. Moving on to the Nashro site in Balochistan, what's fascinating is that this site was essentially a pottery workshop dating back about 4,500 years. Archaeologists found blades and blade fragments there, which were likely used as tools by potters to shape and trim unfired pottery. What's more intriguing is the discovery of some pottery items that were clearly not made locally, hinting at trade with the Indus Valley, where these exotic items likely originated. As we look deeper into India, we see Chalcolithic cultures thriving in various regions. Each had its own unique identity, especially in their pottery styles. For instance, the Banas culture is known for its distinct red, white, and black ceramics, while the Malwa culture created pottery that was richly decorated with red or black designs. These communities weren't just dabbling in copper, they were developing their own distinct cultures around it. One notable site in eastern India is Pandu Rajar Debi, located along the Aj River in West Bengal. Here, archaeologists unearthed a variety of artifacts, including blackware pottery, copper ornaments, and even remnants of fabric woven from cotton. These findings paint a picture of a vibrant community that was not only skilled in metalwork but also in textiles and other crafts. Interestingly, recent discoveries in the Sonali village of Uttar Pradesh have unearthed copper artifacts, including weapons and even ancient carts dating back to around 1800 BC. These items are linked to what is known as the ochre-colored pottery culture, further showing the widespread use and importance of copper in the region. But South Asia wasn't the only place where copper was making waves. In the pre-Columbian Americas, particularly in the Andean civilizations of South America, copper smelting appears to have been independently invented. Cultures in this region, along with those in Mesoamerica, were using copper and its alloys long before European contact. In North America, the Old Copper Complex, located in what is now Michigan and Wisconsin, was mining and shaping copper into tools, weapons, and personal ornaments thousands of years ago. Some of these artifacts date back as far as 6500 BC, making them some of the oldest known Chalcolithic sites in the world. Although the exact methods used are still debated, it's clear that these early Americans were skilled metalworkers. As we shift our focus to East Asia, copper artifacts started appearing in cultures like Jiangxi and Hongshan during the 5th millennium BC. While these metal objects weren't widespread initially, by the time we reached the late Yangshao period, copper metallurgy was becoming more common, especially in the Yellow River Valley. This suggests that by this time, the people there had already mastered the art of making copper tools and artifacts. The Chalcolithic Age was truly a time of innovation and change, with different cultures across the world exploring the possibilities of metalworking, each in their own unique way. In the next part of our journey, we'll see how these early advancements set the stage for the great Bronze Age civilizations that followed.